Take a look at this insanely complex document that we turned into clean, useful JSON for RAG and LLM applications. How do we do it? GroundX on-prem that you can run in your own data center, even air-gapped. I'm going to show you how. Hi, I'm Neil.
And I am Daniel.
And we both work at iLevel.ai, the maker of GroundX, enterprise-grade RAG for RAG on-prem, even air-gapped RAG. And one of the things that's really interesting about the platform is our ability to understand really complex documents you may have in your enterprise, turn them into LLM-ready data, and get clean downstream hallucination-resistant RAG. And the reason that works is because we've trained a vision model on nearly 1 million pages of documents from many different industries, and that enables us to interpret information like this. So what you see on this page, this box being drawn, and I'll show you on different pages, this is our vision model, identifying different objects on page, text blocks, tables, and graphics. And once we identify their positions on the page, we use an agentic pipeline, and we can turn it into JSON and narrative text and other things. So let me show you. I'm going to zoom in here for a second. I want to show you what this is about, and then we're going to look at the clean data. So this is, as I said, it's an HVAC manual. This very difficult to look at, even for a human, frankly, chart explains the different modifications you can buy in this HVAC unit and the different downstream implications, like the nominal cooling capacity, or the number of fans, or the power it draws, etc. And you see these lines here. This happens to be a manual, well, the ZJ180 version of this HVAC unit. And so if you look down here, you'd see, well, the 180 unit has 15 tons of nominal cooling capacity. And the 180 unit here, like if it's an N24, this one happens not to be, would be 240 of output, something like that. Okay, so now take a look at the data. Couple things. For every chunk or object on the page, we generate keywords, which improves your RAG search. The software generates a file summary, which improves LLM completion downstream because it gives the language model context to understand where this chunk or object comes from. And then for every object, we create two really important things. Narrative text, where we explain to the language model conceptually in plain English what this object is about, because language models do better when they understand what you're about to say. And then, boom, drop the clean JSON, which of course they love, and so do developers. So in this case, you saw this complex diagram. The image is a configuration diagram for the ZJ series AC units. It includes product categories, an identifier, and nominal cooling capacity, and so on, just explaining it like to a regular person. And then here's some of the data, like the nominal cooling capacities are 15 ton for 180, or 17.5 for 210. So now look at the JSON. Again, just a quickie version of the description. Here's that nominal cooling capacity section I zoomed in on. The 180, which is ours, is 15 ton. The 210 is 17.5, and so on. And these are for the gas heat options. All right, so now I'm going to show you how we can very quickly, in a simple eval chat. And by the way, the tool I was just showing you is a proprietary tool we built called the X-Ray, which allows you to instantly see inside your documents and how they've been turned into LLM-ready data. So now I'll say, explain the tech specs on the ZJ180 in great detail. And after 10 or 15 seconds, you should get some really clean, accurate information about some very complex visual data. And there we go. So, I think this is pretty amazing. We keep giving it different documents to try to stump it. And so far we're doing really, really well. And we've deployed this, across 3 billion tokens of data. But Daniel, as a developer, I want you to jump in here and explain, how difficult this is to do, and maybe how difficult it is to do on-prem versus this approach.
Yeah, so the fundamental approach relies on a variety of AI models that are doing a variety of things. And there are other parsers that exist. I think unstructured uses some detection models as well. Obviously, the accuracy of those models is not the same across different applications. We've trained ours to be highly accurate. But besides the accuracy question, there's sort of another gotcha, there's another demon to this whole parsing thing, which is
Yeah.
the proper provisioning of resources. So, parsing is a very CPU intensive workload and a GPU intensive workload. And there's a variety of different models that you have to string together and do an efficient pipeline so you can properly parse these
Yeah.
documents. So, on top of making all of these performant, you also have to provision them correctly within a scalable environment. From an infrastructure perspective, it's actually very difficult. We did basically a test of a variety of very common parsing strategies and found that their kind of enterprise scalability, not even from a performance perspective, that was a separate conversation all within itself, but from like a scaling perspective, like a can it handle this volume of documents we were throwing at it, a lot of them really suffered, and we kind of dug into why, and a lot of them didn't properly provision resources. So on top of having a very performant system that has very performant models, they're also designed within a Kubernetes environment, which is scalable and deployable in a way that we've done a ton of effort to properly provision resources so that things can scale intelligently and independently. And you can benefit from that, either with white glove support from us or like with a few clicks of our open sourced on-prem version as well.
Yeah, we've tested these. You can run these. You don't have to have the latest A100 or H100s. You can run them on L40s from NVIDIA. But if you do happen to have an A100 lying around, you can crank through more than 150 million pages in a month letting this thing run. So it completely sizzles if you've got the infrastructure. But if you don't, that's okay. Because again, we've figured out how to provision this for the hardware that you do have. And it auto scales up and down, built on Kubernetes, fine-tuned open source models and microservices. So a lot under the hood that makes your life easy. So listen, will this work on your documents? Well, why don't you come and check them out and see if that's true? Come to ilevel.ai and upload your craziest documents. Bring what you got. The first 5 million tokens are free. Obviously, this is the cloud version of our software to make it easier for you to test out. In reality, you'd run this on-prem in your data center or in your managed cloud. Come to ilevel.ai and for free, send us your crazy docs and see how we do. See you soon.